Happy Sunday, happy Sunday, happy Sunday. And welcome to today's episode of Shay's Wellness Club Q&A accountability sessions. Welcome, and I thank you all for joining me today on a special episode of Shay's Wellness Club because we are getting our 6-week plan together today, okay? If you stay to the end, I will have a complimentary recipe ebook for you, but you got to watch to the end or you'll have to know the special keyword I'm going to give to you at the end. So stay tuned for that. And if you have any questions, feel free to write in the chat and let me know what you guys think of these tips, these done before advice that's helped me a lot, but I also can understand and stuff like that. Let me see. Okay, so there was and I appreciate those that have been sending in their questions for Q&A. That definitely helps this show go along and everything like that. And just thank you guys for staying tuned. Shout out to one of my wellness warriors, Rocky, who just sent me in her testimonial of losing about 20 pounds naturally.
Here's the forecast for tomorrow. Look for lots of sun, with a high of 33 degrees Fahrenheit and a low of 23 degrees.
Anyways, shout out to Rocky for losing her 20 pounds naturally. If you haven't already, I posted her before and after on my feed. It's a very noticeable, and I'm so proud of her for rocking it out and sticking to the tips, sticking to the goal, and just realizing that it really is about consistency every day over perfection. And these tips can really work for you if you allow them to. So I appreciate those that are really taking the initiative and really are not playing with their health and wellness. And also, making a better change for not just yourself, but those around you. So we have before we get to the questions, actually, we're going to start off with some questions, and then we're going to do a little strategy session today, okay? Now, if you want a private one-on-one strategy session with me, I do have that available. If you guys want to talk to me on one-on-one on wellness journey, weight loss journey, consistency in the gym, consistency with cooking, I am available. And to be, and if you just need a private accountability partner, not only am I going to check up on you, but I'm going to ask you, what did we cook this week? What workouts did we work on? What part of the body did we work on this week? I love to stay in touch with my wellness warriors. And if you haven't already, joined the Shay's Wellness Club Facebook page and also shayswellnessclub.com, where a lot of us have our wellness challenges, as well as a lot of great resources for you guys to stay accountable in one place, especially if you're someone that's just visual and wants the actual this printed out for you and anything. That's a really good place to start. Okay, so I'm trying to see how I want to do this, guys. So I'm usually doing, let's see. Oh, cool. Never mind. Actually,
the girlies are gonna be.
Actually, yeah. Anyways, so thank you guys for joining today's episode. So I'm going to start off with a Q&A in the beginning, and then we're going to get into the strategy a little bit later in the segment because I want you to really take all this in, but to also realize a lot of us are asking a lot of the same questions, and I'm here to help you guys, get those answers for you guys because I know it's stressful, especially if you're hitting a plateau in your weight loss journey and you're really getting frustrated because you're eating right, you're working out, but for some reason that scale is not budging. And I understand that too well, all too well. And this is a great, um, Shay's Wellness Club is a great place to come once a week, for that accountability. Like, man, I messed up yesterday, I messed up today. Monday, tonight, I am going to cook something or I'm going to have a better snack. I'm going to be more accountable to myself and really take the initiative to prioritize our health and wellness. Health and wellness isn't selfish. It isn't, anything of the sort. It is self care. The best self care you can do is being important, intentional with what we're putting in our body on a daily basis. Now, can we have a cheat day sometimes? Sure. Or can we have sugar sometimes? Of course. But it's all about moderation. If you have too much of something, it's not going to be good. If you have too much water, you can dry drown. So you just want to be mindful and careful on everything that we put in. Slow down. So, for some people that don't know, what helps me sometimes is affirming to myself that I control what goes in my mouth. Sometimes in the morning, just saying to myself, I am in control of my cravings. I am in control of what I ingest, what I eat, and things of that nature. And when you realize and you wake up every morning saying, you know what? No, I do not need to have that. Because what do when we indulge into stuff that we shouldn't be eating? What do? We feel guilty. We feel like, dang, why did I do that? I just had that happen not too long ago. And what we can do is remember consistency over perfection. Okay. We're going to have days where we're going to slip. There's going to be days where we don't feel like going to the gym. There's going to be many days that we're just not going to feel like sticking to the plan. But if we do what we're supposed to be doing, um, waking up earlier in order to get that extra time in for wellness, for meditation, for prayer, for working out, and then also making it part of our schedule. Making things part of our schedule is going to be so important to be consistent in our journey. Someone just asked me, so how do you come up to go to the gym 5 times a week? I did not start there. Okay. A lot of people think that you just start off with 4 or 5 days a week and you're going to know. I always say to my beginners to always start with 3 days a week. I was going to say two, but two, I honestly don't think is enough. Um, Start, if you have a gym membership, go at least 3 days a week: Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, whatever works best for you. Make sure you have, a rest day in there in between, but also to just make it part of your routine. Um, Let me see. Yep. Making things part of your routine is going to be so important. That's why I always suggest because me, I am an alarm person. So if you're someone that needs an alarm to remind you, hey, this is a time without phone moment. This is a um, only listen to, I don't know, it's hard to explain, but when you add more consistency to your routine, the better. That's why I talk a lot about habit stacking. When you stack habits together, it makes a delicious sandwich. That's the best way I could put it. Habit stacking, what is that, Sade? Well, habit stacking is when you take one habit, consistent, and you add another one consistently. So the rule of thumb, which really helps, is to try to be 10% better than you were the day before. So, or just period. So what are ways for me to become a better 10% of myself. Okay, waking up early to the gym. Why should I wake up early to the gym? One, it gets the hardest part out the way early. Two, you can beat the rush. So for people that are shy at the gym, going early is the best thing because that's when it's usually the most clear, if that makes sense. Going early helps you set your mindset clearer for the day. And also, it gives you a little energy. Sometimes the gym can make you sleepy, but sometimes the gym can really give you a boost in energy, because it's like, wow, I just did that treadmill, I just did that stairmaster, I just lift some weights. Now I feel like I could take on the world today. That's really how being consistent in the gym feels eventually. And if you're someone like me, when I first started, I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I just did the machines. I barely lifted any weights. I barely pushed myself sometimes. But it really is all in going. Just go every day. I'm going to go every Monday. I'm going to go every Tuesday. I'm going to go every Wednesday, whichever 3 days you pick. But I'm going to go. Okay. I'm going to get my 5 to 10K steps per day. Just putting those things even in your alarm is going to make a tremendous difference on becoming a higher 10% of yourself. Another thing, before we even get to the gym part, there's the food part, right? A lot of us, our problem isn't the gym, it's the food part. And if you're someone like me, I went to the gym 5 days a week and still gained weight. Why? Because what I was eating was not working for me, was not what I should have been eating while training, while, going to the gym. In the start of my journey, I had walked a good 7 to 10,000 steps per day. I was someone that didn't have a car, so I walked all the time. I walked all the time. I walked to the bus stop and back. I went to, 15-minute walk to work and back from the bus stop, all that stuff. It really can be the food. I can honestly say you can lose your first 20 pounds, your first 10 pounds especially, without going to the gym at all, just by cutting out things that we know we should be cutting out. We should be cutting out that sugar, that saturated fat, that high sodium things that making us look all bloated, all that milk chocolate, a lot of that uh, bad carbs and stuff like that. Sometimes it just takes us a few changes in order for us to see real results. So that means consistency with what we're eating and what we're doing at the gym as well. Okay, so we're gonna go on to some questions. And how's everybody's week? I meant to ask that. Okay, this is a question that someone sent in. Quick question. Someone asked, do I need a coach or should I keep trying alone? This is a great question because a lot of us have that question about when our wellness journey. So should we hire a trainer at first or should we just do it by ourselves? Me for one, I started my wellness journey as I lost 60 pounds naturally. I did it at first. First, I lost my first 10 pounds with diet alone. I didn't even touch a gym until after 30 days of me uh, doing meal preparation. That's one. Meal preparation was the biggest part of my wellness journey. It will always be the biggest part. Um, when I started meal prepping, I did not eat just 3 times a day. I ate 5 times a day. I lost a lot of weight eating 4 to 5 times a day. Why? Because what you eat matters more than how much you eat. You got to stay, it helps that you do stay in a calorie deficit, yes, but That calorie deficit means nothing if you're eating empty calories, if you're drinking your calories, if you're, overdoing certain things without the balance. So I would say I think everyone should have a coach at first. I think that it really helps when you go to the gym first by yourself, get acquainted with, because a trainer or something, they're really gonna, I don't want to say start you off hard, but if you're someone that's not used to the gym at all, what if you're someone that's not used to the gym at all, hiring a trainer right off the bat is a really great investment if you are planning to stick to it. You don't want to spend money on a trainer and they're like, no, they're working me too hard, never mind, and then give up on the gym. Because sometimes having a trainer early on is overwhelming. But if you start going to the gym and just, if you want to YouTube or ask me, your wellness strategist, on what do I need to work on? What are some machines that I can warm up with or get acquainted with? And then, stuff like that. So I think a coach is, after your first month of doing it by yourself, I think a coach is, because then you'll know what you're doing already and they can correct it. Because if you just, do this, do this, do this, maybe you don't like that machine, or maybe you don't like this, or something like that. But if you already are used to a routine and a trainer corrects you, at least it wouldn't be so hard to understand what they mean, if that makes any sense. So I always say, if you need a coach, if you could, able to get a coach, get one, especially if you know exactly what your goals are. But I would say I would get someone as far as a nutritionist, a meal prep service, or even a wellness strategist first, then get into the training. But trainers have definitely helped me as well. When I've used trainers, it's been for when I had a plateau, or I felt stuck in an area and I didn't know that what to do next. You know what I mean? Like, I work out all this time and I eat all this stuff and it's like nothing's working. That's a really good point to put a trainer or a coach in. Um, because starting your journey alone, at least you'll know what you need help with. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm not the best at cardio, or all I do is cardio. Can someone help me with weights? Because sometimes, sometimes a coach is needed. Do I need a coach? Yeah. Accountability does accelerate results. That's why I'm here, your wellness coach and strategist, here to help you guys reach success, because it isn't the easiest thing to do, being on this wellness journey. And I'm pretty sorry, guys. I'm getting a little better at this though, y'all. Look at me. Oh my gosh. Okay. But yes, so okay. So that's why I think having someone to help you along this journey is so important, because accountability equals success. If I tell someone I plan on losing 30 pounds, which I do plan on losing 30 pounds by the summertime, Even if it's just 20, I'm gonna be happy. Why? Because you guys are holding me accountable. And she's like, Sade said, you know. So having a accountability partner is definitely going to be a great asset to your wellness strategy. Oh, and what's a good thing about coaching is, or strategists such as myself, is coaching is better than over over I don't want to say over analyzing, um information overload, because you don't want to be, looking this up, looking this up, looking this up, and then you like all this information and you're so paralyzed you don't know what to do with it. So a strategist is really good for helping you identify your problems, where to start and how to continue on, and where to hold yourself accountable, to the point where you're going to be like, wow, I just caught myself from getting that, or I just made a better choice at the grocery store thanks to Shay, and stuff like that. Okay. So, let me see. Okay. So, that was that question. Yes. Okay. So, okay. So someone asked, should I even consider the gym as a beginner? Um, I definitely think starting at the gym as a beginner is better than starting at home by yourself. One, it's so easy to just, oh, no one's watching me, so I don't have to do it all the way. It's easy to be lazy at home. It's easy to get to finish your workout earlier than you want to. And it's easier to get discouraged to me at home. I say this because there's so many beginners at the gym, you'll never realize, you'll never even think about it. And it's a lot of people that are going through a lot of the same things we are when we're at the gym. You think that because her body all chiseled and stuff, that she's not going through depression too to get through this workout. You got another thing coming, because a lot of people are going through a lot of things to enjoy, so they can get through that workout. Everyone has a goal they're trying to reach, something they're trying to avoid, trying drastically not to smoke anymore, stuff like that. So it's so important to try the gym specifically before you just, do it at home. Because I mean, I do it at home only when I have to. But I know that's just me. A lot of people can do great at home. If you're someone that's that disciplined that can do it at home 3 times a week for an hour each time and stuff like that, and get your what 5 to 10,000 steps in, that's that's great, and I hope that you can do that. But for those like me, that going to the gym just motivates me. So for beginners, I always suggest the gym before getting a home gym at home, unless you just don't like to be around a lot of people like that. But I promise you, the intimidation about when it comes to the gym, it's you'd be surprised how it's it's really a self-conscious thing. And a lot, and then some of us be at the gym and they're like, oh my god, they're looking at me, oh, he's watching my form and stuff. One, no one's looking at us. Two, if people are looking at us, most likely they want to either like, oh, how'd she do that? But anyways, people are very intimidated by gym culture. At first, I was like, what do they mean by that? When they say gym culture, it's really a really awesome culture. It is not scary. People aren't mean. I haven't ran into a mean girl yet at the gym, but it's just getting to recognize things at the gym. Also, when it comes to the gym, a lot of us are intimidated by the gym because we don't know what the heck we're doing. So we have to, be more mindful. And make sure you like this video and share this to a friend. Someone may need the encouragement as well. If someone's looking for a push to get into the gym, this is for them. This is for you. But yes, this is it's an important thing to get used to the gym, because the gym, there's no excuses. When you're there, you don't want to be scrolling the whole time, because then you feel like a lazy bum that could have stayed at home, right? So you want to make sure that when you go to the gym, you know, you're around other people, like-minded people. When you go to the gym and when you leave the gym, 8 times out of 10, you're gonna be so thankful that you did. Whatever stress you had earlier that morning is gone. No one can bother you, especially if you go early. No one can mess with you for real after a good day at the gym. Like, you're calm. You're more calm more after the gym. You're less cranky, maybe a little hungry, but that's okay. That means, you're burning the right amount of calories. And also, just being mindful of being okay with yourself. A lot of us don't realize that we're just not comfortable with ourselves. So us getting us being seen trying is embarrassing. But I learned kind of early on to be comfortable if I'm embarrassed, or if I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't do that right. Let me, you know, hey, we gotta laugh at ourselves sometimes. And I had to learn that early. Laugh at yourself, okay? If you trip over a dumbbell, if you're doing squats wrong, it's okay, okay? It's a learning experience. And even if you have to, because I definitely do, make a playlist on YouTube or Instagram if you're trying to learn different techniques. I always say just look up 3 short videos of a technique or exercise you want to learn. Bam, let that be your exercise, okay? But people don't care as much as we think they do. It's really us that need to get out of our comfort zone. And there's nothing wrong with getting out of our comfort zone. It doesn't mean someone's going to take advantage of us. It doesn't mean we're taking, people laughing at us or anything. But showing confidence is part of the gym as well. And that's what comes from going to the gym consistently is confidence. And you're going to get those people, low-key haters are like, oh, since you lost this weight or since you've been going to the gym, you've been acting funny. Some people don't like to see the confidence coming from you. So you got to identify that stuff too. The gym is it's the ultimate cheat code, other than eating and cooking at home. It's the cheat code to just a more well-rounded life, if that makes sense. To my ladies, I have to say this, like I say this all the time. Cardio is amazing, okay? Cardio is really good to make you feel like you're exhausted and all that. But cardio every time, all day, more than 30 minutes, unless you're running or something, but excessive cardio, you're not only going to lose fat, which is good, but you're also going to lose muscle. And us ladies are kind of intimidated by weights because we think it's going to make us look like a man, or lifting weights is going to make us look like She-Hulk or something. But honestly, weights are the way to sexy, okay? Angela Bassett, Teyana Taylor, Jade Carhill, name all the muscular But sexy women you see with abs and arms and sexy back, you think they did that just by doing cardio? No, they did that by hitting weights, progressive overload. Okay, start with 3 pounders, start with 5 pounders, and work your way up to 10, work your way up to 15 until you realize you're like, wow, I'm getting stronger. Like that was such a big, I don't want to say a big deal, but when I realized I was getting stronger as I was like upping my weights, I was getting one, my arms was getting really nice. Back was always, getting real nice too because it's tightening everything up. When you add lifting weights to your cardio, that helps burn the fat, build the muscle because we all have muscles. We all have muscles. We all have abs. I don't care how big your stomach is. We all have abs. It's only because we have fat over it that we don't see it, right? Just like someone said on IG, it said it wasn't that we was always beautiful. It was just we had extra fat covering our features, okay? And that's facts. So being mindful on the whole stigma about, oh, if I lift weights I'm gonna look like a man is nuts. Okay, it is okay to lift weights. Okay, because you just never know when a woman has to be strong to carry the babies, to so we're not so winded going out, so we could carry groceries if we need to, in case, heck, if we got to pick up a car and lift it over a kid's head. I don't know, but learning to strength train while we're losing our weight is how we look sexy. That's why a lot of us women who, okay, I want to grow my glutes, I want a big booty and all this stuff, but then all you do is cardio, and you're like, what is all this loose skin and flat booty coming from? That's because you're not lifting any weights. That's because you're not adding weights to your routine, and also incline, but stuff like that. And you have to make sure that you're doing both because it goes hand in hand. My goal is to like do a full pull up. I can't even do that yet. A pull up means I can lift my own weight. I want to be able to lift my own weight. Okay. So if it helps, make a goal for yourself at the gym. This month, I want to be able to go up to 20 pounds, okay, in kettlebells or lifts or pulls or whichever. Um, Another goal for me was to be able to lift like 100 pounds, and that's still my goal. So, you know, so setting yourself a goal is amazing. Like a lot of us, you can do also a cardio goal as well. I remember I could not stay on a stairmaster past 7 minutes. Okay, like I'd be like, oh, I can get to 10, and man, I'm gonna go to 10 next. I used to avoid getting to 10 on the stairmaster. I don't know why it used to be so hard for me, but once I realized, slow it down and don't overdo it and just work at a good pace, you can really do stairmaster with ease, especially if you find yourself a great distraction when it comes to cardio. um for myself, the stairmaster not stairmaster the treadmill is a little too easy for me. Like I could walk in place for an hour if I could, but so me, I up the incline, or I up the speed with the incline, stuff like that. But for me, the Stairmaster is a true challenge. And I even asked Chat GPT, what is the most effective cardio at the gym? And it always says not the row machine, not the elliptical, not uh, the other thing. It's always the Stairmaster. So I'm like, okay, fine. I'm going to make myself I'm gonna challenge myself to make 10 minutes. I start doing 10 minutes a day. And then I was like, okay, I can do 15 minutes. 15 minutes a day. Now I'm to 20 minutes on Stairmaster. I don't plan on doing 30, but 20 minutes on the Stairmaster. Now, granted, 20 minutes on the Stairmaster may take me about 35 minutes to do because I take those little 45-second rests in between after 2 minutes. but at least you get those 20 minutes in, and it really does make a difference in your booty, in your legs, your quads, your back. It's like with the Stairmaster, it just melts everything into one. And then if you strength train with your arms, it all just ties together. So that's why I always say to just find something that's your favorite and be consistent in it. But I definitely suggest to challenge yourself with the Stairmaster. Females and males. It's really great for males too. Y'all need a nice butt too. Um, so these are going to be some simple strategies that will change the rest of your life, or especially the next 6 weeks. If you're someone that's been stuck, tired of the yo-yo dieting, tired of the scale going up and down, and or hitting a plateau, this is for you. Learning how to eat properly throughout the week along with your workouts is going to be the game changer that you've been needing. Um, like I've said before, meal prepping was my biggest light bulb moment where I lost weight naturally. For those that don't know, I've lost over 60 pounds naturally thanks to wellness. These wellness tips I'm giving you to right now. I was eating 4 to 5 times a day, right? And also you have to cut off eating after a while. So breakfast, snack, lunch, snack, dinner. If you ate all through that day, 2 healthy snacks, a breakfast, lunch, and dinner, your metabolism is speeding up. And by you going to the gym, you're burning those calories off. The goal is to burn more than you consume, is the rule of thumb. Okay? Prioritizing protein in every meal. Prioritizing protein in every meal is going to be the big game changer for you, because protein is really great for your muscles. It's really great for muscle repair, stuff like that. And so someone asked me, so someone asked, what are name some proteins that could be snacks. Okay, so for those that don't know, I make those wellness plates where I get a protein and I add my stuff to it. Or for those that haven't tried cottage cheese is a really good source of protein with some eggs or with some fruit. A snack is really just a smaller meal, right? So protein, you could do hummus and veggies. I would do now peanut butter can add calories, so be careful with peanut butter. But I used to do peanut butter and celery. That filled me up for a while. Just finding healthy snacks that can last a lifetime. Because once you find healthy snacks that you love, it's gonna be so easy for you to consistently have it. Your body loves boring. Your body loves consistency. So the more that you dedicate, okay, this is my favorite snack. This is my favorite meal I'm gonna eat. This is my pick 3, 4 your favorite meals. Switch them up. Okay. Yes, thank you for the love. Because it's so important to have a consistent routine when it comes to your body. Like before my wellness journey, I did not like hummus. I did not eat the only fruits I used to have was like grapes, bananas, and maybe red apples and stuff like that. I love green apples. I eat cherries. I love kiwis. There's so much variety when it comes to snacks that it's so important that we just find our favorite 4 or 5. That's all. Okay? And be honest, we're going to make this our snack. Also, anything that aren't good snacks, like if it's milk chocolate, I definitely would suggest dark chocolate over milk chocolate. I didn't know until I became an adult that milk chocolate was contributing to my acne and stuff like that. And I'm like, whoa. And then I found out dark chocolate is what we're supposed to be eating. That's better for our skin than milk chocolate, especially because of the whole milk. Uh, oh yes, and protein shakes. I do protein shakes, protein smoothies rather, and they are so filling and last me for a few hours. That's a great snack. That way you can have something liquid, it can digest a little faster, and also it's a good way to get more nutrients at one time, um, stuff like that. But that was a great question. That question was, what what would you suggest for protein snacks? Okay. Also, I did. So what I did when I did. So I'm gonna give you an example of a meal prep for a day that I used to do. Breakfast, two boiled eggs and fruit, whether that be a banana, whether that be some blueberries, whether that be something like that. Um, Fruit is good to have in the morning because it does have sugar, so it helps you burn it throughout the day, and it's easy to burn throughout the day. For lunch, okay, so for snack, thank you for the love. I appreciate it. Thank you. And then for a snack, I would have like celery or carrots. It does not have to go together, y'all. As long as you can ingest it, it don't really matter what. As long as it's a healthy snack, you end up getting crazy taste buds. Like, oh, that might be good together. Like I never thought I would like cottage cheese, but it's actually good when you put it with the right stuff. And some people eat it with fruit as well. But okay, so that was breakfast. A snack, which is fruit. A lunch of mine, I would have. I stopped eating beef or pork altogether, and if I do eat beef, it's steak. That's it. I don't have ground beef. I don't eat ground beef. I don't eat pork chops. I don't eat bacon. None of that. I do turkey bacon instead of bacon. But anyways, for lunch, I would have, for example, turkey meatloaf, turkey meatballs. I got creative and learned I can make that. I never had it before until I started making meal preps and was getting bored of just chicken. Baked chicken, baked any chicken. You know, there's thighs, legs, wings. Bake them. Bake all your meats for the week. That it was a big game changer because that fried food really does make you gain weight. It really does, especially by the oil that you're cooking it in. So to be mindful of just that alone, switching from fried to baked, that's a great swap right there. Let me see. Lunch. After lunch, 2 hours later, I'll have another small thing of vegetables, probably some carrot, or kale, something to fill me up for a little bit. And then by the time you get home, all you got left is a dinner. And then after you eat dinner, you're like, oh, well, I ate for the rest of the day. I ate 5 times today. Why do I need to eat again? That's how I used to think, right? So that is a great way, and that's how I used to eat 5 times a day. Now, say if I'm doing intermittent fasting, all I'm doing is I'm not eating breakfast. I'm not eating till 12 maybe. No later than 3 p.m. is my first meal. But that's if you're intermittent fasting. That's a little different and it's a little more advanced. If you're someone that's just trying to get on a journey, period, I always suggest to just work on getting used to healthier meals before you just cut things off. Yeah. Um, so someone asked, and feel free to ask questions in the chat because I'm answering these live as well. Someone asked, can you name more protein sources? because I keep saying protein. Okay. A lot of stuff we didn't realize we're eating protein. We was just, eating stuff. Or we're eating protein, but we're eating it fried. I would always suggest, thanks for the love. I appreciate it. Keep the love going. Share this to a friend. And hit the follow button to get notified of my next one. I have these every Sunday. Wellness Club. So proteins. Fish. Okay. Well, what fish? Okay, we got tuna. Tuna is like I have like these little packs of tuna, 16 grams of protein right there. So tuna, cod, redfin, yellowtail, salmon is my favorite. Wild caught. If not, please don't get farm raised. But wild caught is the best way you can go. Shrimp. I say cod. Pretty much any fish. Okay. There's been times where I've done the pescatarian diet where I only ate fish that whole month. It is not as hard as people think it is because you're still eating. You're just eating, and you don't have to eat the same thing all day. But tuna is a really good one. Okay. And then also to have healthy fats in your diet. Having healthy fats in your routine are important because what you cook with and what you cook with matters. So a healthy fat would be coconut oil, extra virgin olive oil, grass-fed butter, and salmon as well. You An unhealthy fat would be like fried foods. An unhealthy fat would be fried foods and fast food. That's what I meant to say. Fast food definitely was I used to be 230 plus pounds, right? And a big key of that was me eating fast food all the time. I really had to say, Sade, you gonna cook. If you don't know how to cook, learn. And see, the thing is, I didn't grow up cooking with my mom or anything like that. But it was just the fact that I didn't know how to cook healthy. I always knew fried chicken and stuff like that, but I didn't know just to bake it sometimes or just broil it sometimes or just make a soup, something like that. So just that alone on how you cook your meals, it's a game changer. Especially if you learn how to season. When you learn how to make your healthy meals taste good, that's it. The point, the gag, the trifecta is making your healthy meals taste good to where it's like, I don't even want to eat it fried. Like all fried foods, fried foods in general for me, I just don't have a taste for them anymore. Thank God. I really don't like it around me. Because if someone say, hey, you want some of this fried chicken? I'm like, if I haven't in a long time, I probably will. But every time I eat something fried, I'd be like, why did I even eat that? It did make me feel better. Fried, once you realize and notice the difference between these meals, you realize that what you're eating is the reason why you're so cranky. The reason you're so bitchy all the time is because of what you be eating. The reason why you wake up in a bad mood, or sometimes when you have constant bad dreams, sometimes when you have bad energy early on, or just after you eat McDonald's, after you eat Taco Hell, after you eat Wendy's, you just be like, that's because of what we're eating. Okay? We're not just eating animals. We're eating their hormones. We're eating their terror. Okay? Not to sound like a vegan, but not that there's anything wrong with that. But what we eat is a direct link to how we feel that day. It's a direct link on our mood. Direct link on how we treat people. You know how some people be going crazy without their coffee? That's because they're addicted to the caffeine. You know how some people, when they don't smoke, they just want to go off. It's because they're addicted to the weed. And then people are like, oh, that's you can't get addicted to weed. Yes, you can. If you can't go a week without smoking, you have an addiction. You have same with sugar. I would say, I'm not gonna say because I don't know. This is all fair use only. But I would say sugar is probably one of the biggest addictions there is, because sugar reaches all ages. If you start eating it too early and taking that stuff away, they want to drink their juice before they eat, don't they? And then a lot of us don't realize it, but having an addiction to sugar is a real thing. And we are in denial. People think sugar isn't like drugs, or sugar isn't like weed, or sugar isn't like liquor. Yes, it is. It's something that if you go without, you don't feel right. Okay? Because tell someone's grandmother or grandparent they can have a piece of cake. Okay? Because a lot of our grandparents are addicted to sugar. And it's so hard for us to talk to them about it because they've been eating this way their whole life. But something that we need to tell them, and we need to realize for ourselves before it's too late for us. We can't eat the same way we've been eating our whole lives. Yes, I am Camera. Thanks for the comment. Too much of sugar is bad for health. That is completely true. Too much sugar. I'll give you an example. Someone I love very much. I went to spend a couple days with them. Because especially since I've been married, I don't want to like lose touch with my family. So I spent a couple days with my elder, and she was cooking, and then I didn't realize, because I don't buy white sugar at all, and I noticed how for breakfast she would add sugar to stuff. To dinner she would add a couple sugar things and stuff, plus cookies, stuff like that, plus a piece of cake that a neighbor brought over. I'm like, I have to say something, right? And me, I can say stuff in a nice way, but people, our elders don't want to hear that. Say, I'm gonna do what I want to do. I'm like, I understand, but you see people in this building getting sick, right? Like we have to observe the things that we see around us. Why are the people around us sick? Because they smoke too much cigarettes, because they eat too much sugar. Those are the top two. Or at least, in her case. That's pretty much it. Either they did a lot of drugs early on and they're feeling the effects now. They smoke so much cigarettes that they need to breathe, so they gotta get in and out of the hospital. Or too much sugar to where they have to lose limbs. And I'm telling you, it was kind of hard for me to say it, but sometimes we got to tell our people that we love so much that, yeah, we're eating too much sugar. And I know when it's too much sugar, when you add white sugar to sweet potatoes. I don't know where sweet potatoes came from. Well, I know they come from the ground and stuff, but I didn't grow up eating sweet potatoes. Like, I don't, and maybe I'm wrong, and forgive me, Mom, if I'm not trying to lie on her name or nothing, but I do not remember ever eating sweet potatoes growing up. So when I start eating them and cooking them, I was like, wow. Well, I was so used to it with brown sugar. I don't know. Anyways, it's naturally sweet. So things shouldn't be sugar shouldn't be added to things that are naturally sweet. Like, for instance, everybody's doing these sugar coated grapes and chocolate covered pineapples and stuff like that. Why are we adding sugar to sugar? Like, I had one picky person that wanted a fruit smoothie, but she said it was too tart. But I gave another person that same recipe, and they said it was perfectly fine. So some of us are a little too used to sugar, We need to, just correct ourselves because before we know it, it's going to be not too far gone. But we're going to pick up weight and we're going to like, where did we get it from? Oh, that was from the 27 grams of juice that we just drank. Yeah. So what I do, thanks for liking the live, Dave. I appreciate it. So something that I do that I like to get into other people's perspective, because sometimes I try to put in nutrition through conversation. So like here's my sidekick, my co-host, water, big bowl, big jug of water. This is a gallon. I drink a gallon a day to keep a doctor away. I say that all the time because if I'm supposed to drink a gallon, a lot of people are supposed to drink about this much, even half of this, even half a gallon. And some people say it's hard for them to drink 2 bottles. But what I like about when I bring this up is it makes them think, wow, I don't drink enough water. So sometimes people be like, hey, I drank 3 bottles of water today. Good. Better than last week. Okay. Anything you could do to spread better habits, the better. So, like in a post I did recently, I said, if you're trying to drink more water every day, keep a bottle of water with you, and you'll always have water with you. Keep it in reach, and you will be able to get it. A lot of people don't realize how much sugar is in these sugary drinks. So, when I see my elder, and it was like, here, I was suggested to drink this aloe vera juice. So this is the aloe vera juice, right? Whenever someone gives me a label saying, "Oh, try this," I look straight to the label. What is the label telling me? How many grams of sugar is in it? So in this aloe vera juice, which is healthy, aloe vera juice is healthy. But if there's 38 grams of sugar in it, that's liquid. It's 2 candy bars. It's a candy bar or 2. So I try to do that with my elders too, to give it more of a visual. That's 2 candy bars. You are drinking 2 candy bars worth of sugar. And we need to do better. So if this can help anyone to help their mom, help their grandmother, help their aunt do better, that's my tips for them. Because it kind of helps because you kind of make them realize, ooh, I'm drinking 2 candy bars worth of stuff. Because for our elders, I don't know about y'all, but mine, they get really bad leg cramps when they eat too much sugar. If you eat too much sugar and you're getting effects from it, that means you shouldn't be eating much. If I'm eating 3 cups of soda and I get severe leg cramps, that means I shouldn't be drinking this. If I eat too much milk chocolate and I break out, that means my body don't like that. And a lot of us need to point out the signs. We need to figure out what our body wants and don't want. Okay? So carbs plus protein help I don't know what that was. But carbs and protein help build muscle. So if you're someone that needs more help with identifying carbs and proteins and what goes together, send me a message and I'll send you something. Oh, and also for joining this live, send me a DM, the word recipes or food or something like that, and I'll send you a complimentary ebook available today. Thank you guys for watching the live with me, for taking notes and everything. So carbs and proteins help build muscle. Now what is so what's a healthy carb? A healthy carb, I would consider a healthy carb would be sweet potato. I would pick a sweet potato over a regular potato any day. Because we can eat carbs, especially if we're going to the gym. If we're going to the gym, we can definitely eat carbs because that helps fuel our body. That helps fuel our muscles. Okay? Just think of the gas we need in our engine. Carbs helps us keep wanting to push and stuff. So what we want to do is stay away from starchy carbs. Now, someone said, what are starchy carbs? That would be our breads, white breads, pasta, and tortillas. One, it's a starchy carb, and also it has sugar in it as well. So it's really hard to burn those starches off. What's a good carb? Someone asked. Sweet potatoes are the best. Can't go wrong with sweet potatoes. Brown rice is the best rice, and quinoa. Okay, quinoa is good in protein. It's a good rice. Um, and you can't go wrong with those. If you do, let me tell you a protein packed meal. Like for instance, I'm about to eat dinner. It's a little late, but so I have a salmon. I would have showed you guys, but I already cooked it. I have salmon, a baked sweet potato, and some broccoli. That sounds like that's good. That's fiber. That's a healthy starch. A healthy carb and protein. You want to do a protein, a good carb, a vegetable, right? And that is the trifecta for a good meal. That's how I did it for my meal prep. If I say, and I'm going to tell y'all this since y'all are watching me now. If you want a meal prep, 2 meats, bake them. It could be salmon and chicken breast. It could be shrimp and chicken wings. It could be salmon and a turkey meatloaf. Make 2 different meats, bake them. Get you 3 sides that you enjoy. It could be asparagus. It could be broccoli. It could be cauliflower. It could be string beans, whichever you enjoy. And then you're going to take that and make a meal of them. Now, you could do sheet pans and you could just make a different meal every day, or you can make different meals in your meal prep containers. But that is a great way of, one, you don't have to worry about what you're going to eat the next day. 2, that's something else you don't have to worry about. If you take the worry of what I'm going to eat for the day out the way, you have better time for other things. Okay? And then don't forget your snacks. If you have a good snack, protein-packed meals, you will lose weight in no time, because it's important to just stay consistent. Okay, so I'm going to stay away from bread, pasta, tortillas. Just think of those 3. I'm going to stay away from those 3. You don't have to think of a big list. Say, you know what? I'm going to avoid bread, pasta, tortillas. What can I replace bread with? You can do, like I've done sweet potato burgers before, where I flattened 2 sweet potatoes and made them into like patties, not patties, but I flattened them to like thin slices, and I kind of fried them a little bit, pan fried or whatever, and then put some turkey meat in the between with some cheese. Delicious. Okay. When I tell you, when you get used to this wellness journey, you're going to get so creative in the kitchen. You're going to want to make your own cookbook. Because I have one. And if you DM me, I'll send it to you. Because you get creative. You're like, wait a minute. What are stuffed peppers? You want a good meal? Get you a stuffed pepper. Bell pepper. Green. Colors are your friend when it comes to the wellness journey. Colors. Get you those multicolor bell peppers, cut them in half, or cut the tops off, bake them, get you some ground turkey, put it in there. Whatever toppings you like, put in some marinara sauce, light or low-fat marinara sauce, put it in there, bake it with some cheese on top if you like, take it out, and that is a delicious meal right there, okay? I believe I have that recipe in the recipe book, but if you want that recipe, I'll do that too. Oh, thank you. Okay, so I said, do you want to know what I see? He said, Queen, I know that's right. Thank you. But yes, because if you staying mindful of these few things, you can't go wrong with your wellness journey, okay? Losing weight naturally is very attainable. And, a lot of people are like, oh, I can't lose weight. I can't do this. I can't do that. Well, whether you can or you can't, either way, you're right. And I say you can. So I want you to start saying you can. I can lose the weight I want to lose. I can lose 10 pounds naturally. Just start small. I didn't expect to lose 60 pounds at all. At all. My goal at first was 20. And baby, it went from there. Because once you get consistent with your eating habits, it just slides off. You're not even trying. I remember to the point where I was going to work and I was cooking all my meals. I wasn't going to go no fast food places, especially for the first month. First month, no fast food. And baby, that 10 pounds, first 10 pounds slid off. Ate nothing but baked stuff. I ate too much chicken at first. So that's why I say when you meal prep, have some variety and it'll be easy. Um, and also send me a DM, the word meals or recipes, and I'll send you my recipe ebook where I have a lot of these good, delicious recipes in here. But I thank you guys for joining today's Wellness Club, okay? And I will be back next week, Sunday evenings at 6:15 Eastern Standard Time. Yes. And I want you guys to let me know what you learned in this live in the comments or something. I'd love to hear how I've helped someone. Shout out to my girl Rocky, who's lost her first 20 pounds thanks to my advice for joining, Shay's Wellness Club, taking the advice, actually sticking to the goal. Not perfect, but consistent. That's all we asking for here. Okay. This is a wellness community where we hold each other accountable in ways, we all been there. Okay. I was tired of being just inconsistent with what I was eating. Didn't feel good. I was not cranky all the time, but I just was tired of seeing my face like super round. I was tired of how I looked in photos. I was tired of positioning myself in photos to make me look smaller. I was tired. And I know some people are tired of the same thing too. The same, always having to start over, always having to start Monday over. And with Shay's Wellness Club, we don't have to start over. We're continuing the journey, okay? Some weeks are not going to be the best. We're not going to always feel like going to the gym. We're not going to always feel like cooking. But guess what? Life going to still go on, right? And we rather do it feeling good, feeling healthy, feeling happy, about life. And I'm so thankful that I did because it really does point out people that are low-key haters, points out a lot of people that are around you that are causing you and enabling a lot of your behaviors as well. And also, you get to learn a lot about yourself in this journey. Okay, I didn't realize I had so much confidence in myself. I didn't realize that I could help people and encourage people to lose weight naturally. I just was, like this, I'm all by myself. I can't do this. But when I heard people encourage me, like, Sade, you lost, I could see it before I even could. So I want you to let us know what you would like to hear about next week. Continue to send in your questions on ways on how I lost 60 pounds naturally, or even when it comes to workouts, foods, anything of the sort. And I pray that you have a great week. Make someone laugh, smile, and put yourself first, okay? And then God. Put God first as well. I love you guys. Stay consistent. Bye. Okay, I'm so goofy.